Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Between the Lines. I'm Larry Gordon with Esta Gordon, and we are the electronic version of the Five Towns Jewish Times. And we do this about once a week. You know, we could
try.
we could do more. We could do more. There's so much news. It's really difficult to keep up. But our guest today, we're very fortunate to have Nitsana Darshan-Leitner, who actually we're talking about you appearing here for a couple of weeks. And boom,
Mhm.
all of a sudden the news caught up. The news caught
Yeah,
up to you.
It's good that we waited. Yes.
Yeah, interesting. So let's talk about the big case. Now, you had one Supreme Court justice, as from what I heard, Sotomayor, actually rejected the appeal of the Palestinians to
Which
appeal
is
their
shocking.
case.
Yes.
All right. Well, give me a little background about that. What happened?
Of course. It's a case that we filed in 2004 on behalf of terror victims that were killed or injured during the Second Intifada in Israel. And we filed in the federal court in New York against the Palestinian Authority and the PLO. And when the case went to trial in 2015, we were able to prove that the Palestinian Authority is responsible for all these terror attacks. As a matter of fact, the Palestinians say that all the terrorists were her employees, but they were wrong employees that did the attacks after work hours, and it wasn't their policy.
After work hours.
Don't you think it should explain what Nitsana does? We went right into the case.
Of course, Nitsana Darshan-Leitner is the head and the founder of the Israel Law Center. Is that correct?
Yes.
And
Which is, not everybody knows.
She is at the forefront trying to seek justice for people injured, especially, I'm sure there are a lot of cases that you're involved in, but especially in cases where Israelis and others, Americans and others,
international,
are hurt as a result of terrorist attacks. Now, let me back up just a drop, Nitsana.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. So
what if the case?
We were able to win the case, got a judgment for $655 million, but the Palestinian Authority filed an appeal and was able to vacate the judgment based on personal jurisdiction. They stated they're not in the United States, and therefore the United States court does not have jurisdiction to litigate this case. For the next 10 years, we fought this ruling in court, and we changed the law in Congress twice to reinstate personal jurisdiction. And finally, when the case reached the Supreme Court of the United States, the Supreme Court reinstated personal jurisdiction, and the Court of Appeal reinstated the judgment. So we had a final judgment against the Palestinian Authority for $655 million, which the Palestinian Authority was not so pleased to accept. So they went once again to court and asked to delay any execution of the judgment because they want to file more and more appeals. But today, the court said no more. We're not delaying the case. We're not delaying the judgment. And you, the Palestinian Authority, have to pay it all.
Between the Lines is brought to you by our friends at Tiffany Dry Cleaners. Tiffany provides free pickup and delivery throughout Long Island, Queens, and Brooklyn. They're 100% environmentally safe and do amazing alterations. And that's exactly the kind of dry cleaners that you want, the one that cares about the length of your pants and the type of environment that you're going to be breathing in. Call Jeff Wenger at 718-309-5222. 718-309-5222. That's Tiffany Dry Cleaners out here on Long Island. Between the Lines is brought to you today also by Elegant Desserts, friends of ours for many years. You see their ads in the Five Towns Jewish Times. How do you say that?
Oh, acai. Well, it's really it's a play on word. It's actually, but they're saying acai truly. Amazing, meaning they're having acai products too.
Okay, anyway, it looks good. It looks like great stuff that they're producing. Refreshing, nutritious, unforgettable. Now available in stores and online. That's Elegant Desserts. For more information on where you could pick up your elegant desserts, try 718-388-1323. That's 718-388-1323. Explain to me, I mean, we're not lawyers on this side of the Atlantic anyway. We're not attorneys. But what is it about the case that makes it relevant to be brought in an American court?
American citizens that were killed in Israel, Americans just had a right to file a lawsuit in the United States utilizing a very special law that intended to American citizens. It's called the Anti-Terrorism Act. And it's a special law that Congress legislated back in 1996 to allow American citizens that were killed or injured in terror attacks abroad to bring their cases in the United States against overseas terror organizations. And when the Palestinian Authority came and said that they are not in the United States, we argue that there is this law, this special law, which is extraterritorial jurisdiction law that grants U.S. courts jurisdiction.
So who are the plaintiffs in the case? You said it was about 30 people?
Yeah, regular people, families, individuals that were
all Americans?
terror attacks. I'm sorry?
All Americans?
They're all Americans.
Well, are there any famous? I mean, there are a lot of terror attacks over the years.
There's some famous names that we know.
Famous
quite famous terror attacks like the Hebrew University, Syria.
Okay.
Bus number 19 in Jerusalem that gun blown up. Terror attack on the 443 road. Terror attacks in Jaffa Street, in Ben Yehuda Street. Many terror attacks that usually...
What frame of time? From when?
From 2002 to 2004.
Wasn't there a case of that young lady from New Jersey, and I think her father was also an orphan?
That was something else. She was killed in Gaza.
Yes, this is the case of Elisa Plateau.
Right.
Yes.
Was fight against Iran.
Right.
And we have a lot of cases against Iran. But this is the first case that was filed against the Palestinian Authority.
Okay.
Which was different.
You don't do individual people. It sounds like you were doing a lot of like big cases.
Well, they're all individual people,
obviously, but
we unify them to go under one case,
right?
If it makes sense. Like for instance, obviously, for October 7 victims,
right?
We filed one major case against Iran, one major case against the Palestinian Authority, because the circumstances are the same. But if you have different victims from different terror attacks, not necessarily they will be able to go together in one lawsuit.
Right.
Okay, so before you, by the way, I was speaking to Nitsana Darshan-Leitner of the Israel Law Center about her victory in the U.S. Supreme Court of more than $600 million award for
$655
for victims of terror going back over 20 years. Before you pursue a case, do you go ahead and identify whether the people that you are targeting have assets that you can get your hands on? How does that work?
That's a nice question. My targets are usually those who direct the terror attack, as this, and made it happen. Not necessarily the terrorists themselves. My goal is not to hit the terrorist who doesn't care about human life, who not care about money. My goal is to go after those who are directing this bloodshed, who fund this bloodshed.
Mm-hmm.
Organizations like Hamas, Islamic Jihad, PLO, Hezbollah, against the Palestinian Authority, against countries like Iran, Syria, North Korea, against banks that are facilitating these wire transactions and provide financial services to terror organizations like Arab banks, European banks, Chinese banks, Lebanese banks, social media that provides them with a platform, Google, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, everybody who are aiding and abetting terrorists. And all these bodies have a lot of money.
How many cases are you working on currently, would you say?
Hundreds cases.
100 cases. How many attorneys do you work with?
I'm sorry?
How many attorneys do you work with?
We have co-counsels around the world. I think we have 7 lawyers working in the organization, but we have perhaps 5 different law firms working on the cases.
All right, so let's focus on the case that the Justice Sotomayor rejected the appeal. I think it was just yesterday, back on August 3rd, Monday, August 3rd, approximately, just to give us a little bit of context in terms of when we're speaking about this, because as I always say on these broadcasts, they stay up online forever. So you have to have some kind of idea of what period of time that we're talking about. So how does this get translated into real life? How do you actually get money paid to compensate these people for their pain and suffering?
So the Palestinian Authority has assets. So does the PLO.
Mm-hmm.
In America or anywhere in the world?
The Palestinian Authority have, first of all, in Israel, tax money that Israel collects.
They could. Okay.
This is how we collect our judgment in Israel. Every Israeli case against the Palestinian Authority is deducted by law from the tax money that the Israeli Treasury collects for the Palestinians. It wasn't the case like this before. We had to pass the legislation in the Knesset that obligated the Treasury in Israel to do an offset and to deduct any judgment and to see it as any other debt of the Palestinian Authority. So this case that we won in the United States will be domesticated in Israel and will go after the tax money, but not only. The Palestinian Authority has bank accounts in the Palestinian Authority's banking system. They have stock portfolio, they have investments, they have real estate. We are going to execute this judgment against all the assets of the Palestinian Authority.
They have real estate in the United States?
Not in the United States.
In Europe.
Not in the United States, unfortunately. But they have enough in Israel that we can go up.
Okay. In terms of the Israel Law Center, you recognized to practice law in any country.
We have lawyers that are doing this. I'm not licensed to practice law, but
wherever it is, you could have the lawyers in that country work on it.
Yes. As a matter of fact, we have Legal War Room that have 600 lawyers in this, and they are volunteering and helping in any case that we need help with.
So are you expecting the Supreme Court decision this week, or did it come as a surprise to you?
As a matter of fact, no.
No,
It was a surprise.
No.
Surprise?
No, because there is a limit even to the patience of the court. If you litigate this case for 22 years
Right.
and you lose and you have to pay the judgment, how dare you go to the court and say, I want you to pose the collection efforts? Why? What gives you such a right? You had you litigated it. You lost.
It was turned around pretty quickly. These things are more likely, in the courts.
Delay.
Slung around for years.
Well, 22 years is
There's a form of art the Palestinian Authority adopted.
Yeah.
Delay. And now it's not to pay.
And the Iranians are like that too.
And you know what? They have the money to pay. They have the money.
Well, we all gave them the money. The Kings gave them the money. Americans gave them the money.
They had the money to pay their lawyers. 22 years hiring lawyers, law firms, boutique law firms, to litigate this case in the United States, not a cheap endeavor. And you also they have the money to pay for slave policy. They have money to pay the terrorists who are sitting in these
Terrorists,
regions.
families. Every
They
time
pay them
you call,
$150 million
yeah,
a
we just
month.
look at that. Yes.
They
Yeah.
have money.
Right.
I don't feel sorry for them. And
No,
they
of course
learn.
not.
No, you shouldn't.
Israelis had to pay a price.
Okay, we're talking to Nitsana Darshan-Leitner of the Israel Law Center about the cases she's been working on for decades, actually, to get victims of Arab terror compensation for their pain and suffering. Are you in touch with the plaintiffs?
Of course, yes.
Yeah. So, who you speak to this week, and after the court decision, and you don't give me specifics, but what kind of legal action? Do they believe it? Do they actually think they're going to see the money?
I'll tell you, there is a limit to how many times you can promise the victims. Here we are about to
Right.
to collect.
I'm
So
sure
the
it
victims learn that these efforts will take time, and they were patient until now, and they are patient for the future. I'm telling you right now that we are going to collect every dime, but it will take an effort and it will take time. So the victims trust us that we will do anything we can, and we'll do the best we can. And they know that we never stop to execute this judgment and to get there.
So how much time is it going to take, do you think? What's your
Some
best
years.
guess?
Some,
What?
some couple of years.
More years?
Yes.
Just to get them to cut some checks? You know?
Well, some checks, yes, $655 million a big
Yeah,
check.
just to put a lien on their properties.
Yeah, but you gotta get paid. You gotta get paid. Here in New York, when you call somebody for money, they usually tell you the bookkeeper is on maternity leave.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can't get paid till she comes back. Which it can only be like 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. Well, I've heard that so many times. That's like the best excuse I've heard over the last 25 years.
Or it's in the mail.
That we're doing this. So the check is in the mail.
No.
So you think it's still going to take years to get paid?
Some years, yes. It's a
It's going to
process.
take more
Right?
years. Why will it
It's
take
a
so long?
judgment. You bring it to Israel. I'm sorry?
Are they
I'm saying you take the judgment. Yeah, there are legal steps. I mean, now you have a final judgment, but you still have to domesticate it in Israel, which is a legal proceeding. And the Palestinian Authority, rest assured, will come and object it. So it will be like going in court for a year or two. And then the Palestinian Authority will lose, but they have a right to file an appeal. So they will appeal. You understand? It will take some time. But in the end of it,
So you have about $650 million divided amongst 30 people, you think? About,
Yes.
From the lawyer.
you know, can these people, now that you have a final judgment, I mean, I don't know who the people are. I'm just curious from a layman's perspective, can these people go to the bank and now take a loan against the judgment money?
listen, I'm not getting into this every.
I'm just thinking like an everyday person thinks, that's all.
You can give them advice if you wish. I'm staying away from it.
Other than terror groups, what other cases are you looking for?
After October 7th, we filed a lawsuit against the Red Cross for
Very
abandoning the
good.
hospitals.
Okay.
Okay, what are you looking for?
Yeah, this is
Inspection.
Israel.
They didn't let anybody go in.
Yeah. I want to.
They didn't.
What's a lot of law shows?
They didn't provide the victims, the hostages, with medicine,
With
Yeah,
food, health,
they didn't fulfill their obligation to
Okay.
go and visit the hostages.
That's a Red Cross.
Yes, they went and demanded Israel to allow them to go and visit the Nukhba terrorists that Israel had. Okay, it's the Red Cross. We also filed a lawsuit against UNRWA for participating in the massacre, kidnapping Jonathan
Yes, sir.
Severoff
Iran, they paid for it all.
Iran.
Yeah, of course.
So
Iran.
what are you looking for from the Red Cross?
Money. It's a monetary lawsuit. It's a monetary lawsuit to pay for their default not to help the victims.
How do you sign
But
up?
because
Well, Israel's incurring a lot of medical costs now trying to rehabilitate the hostages that should have been taken care of all the time.
Just curious.
And I'm sure there's more.
Curious how you translate that into dollars or cents. That's all.
You really can't. You just pick a number and go with it.
right. But we also are fighting over the narrative because unfortunately Israel is losing this battle. So we fight lawsuit against Al Jazeera for aiding and abetting Hamas, for taking the narrative of Hamas and spreading it all over, and thus helping Hamas. And we are planning a legal action against the New York Times for the same reason, aiding and abetting Hamas.
As long as we have great sponsors for our ever increasing in popularity and nice numbers. Between the Lines podcast, I want to tell you about the Chabad Shul in Boynton Beach, Florida. They are in the midst of a $10 million campaign that's going to double the size of the property. Boynton Beach has just bursted out into its own over the last several years after hiding in the shadows for I don't know how long. But
Well, we have a huge supermarket,
right,
restaurants.
it's changed a lot. But
Definitely.
there's an ongoing campaign to expand the shul and the preschool, and they're going to have a beautiful brand new base medrash. You can see their ad in the Five Towns Jewish Times, or go to futureToBuild.com, or you can call Rabbi Shalom Cement, who is the spiritual leader of Chabad of Boynton Beach. Since 1993, you can reach him at 561-732-4633. I hope he doesn't mind me giving out his phone number, but no, that's the phone number of the office. That's the phone number. 561-732-4633.
I'm sure he won't mind.
Tell
if
him you heard
anybody's
about
calling
him.
for
You
a
heard about him here
donation.
on the Five Towns Jewish Times podcast, Between the Lines.
I will tell you that the most dangerous situation right now is with our soldiers that are facing arrest warrants in countries that they are going to. There is
Right.
Yeah, after the
Right.
military service.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
That's
there is
because of the International Criminal Court.
right, but not only. The International Criminal Court is the one that started this hunt against the IDF soldiers by blaming Israel for committing war crimes and issuing arrest warrants against Prime Minister Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. And that gave an idea to other tribunals around the world that claim that they have universal jurisdiction to go after IDF soldiers. So soldiers who are backpackers or want to go after the service to visit countries in the war,
Happened in Ireland, I think.
everywhere.
Right.
Fortunately, it's everywhere. These pro-Palestinian organizations is chasing them and filing arrest warrant requests against them when they step into this country. So
Has anyone been arrested? Have any soldiers been arrested and held? Have there been any tests?
no, so far, soldiers have not been arrested for the reason that the Israeli council at this country warns them immediately to leave the country. He knows about it and he tells them to leave. But what will happen if the council will not have this free preliminary information? But there are countries, like for instance in England, that the court put on trial IDF soldiers for violating the British law. There is an old law in Britain that prohibits any British citizen to participate in an army that fights countries that England is not in a war with. So the IDF is fighting Lebanon or fighting Syria, countries that England is not in a fight with. And they are really being indicted in the court. IDF soldiers that joined Israel on October 7th as a reservist facing trial.
So you're saying the problem is in India,
No, United Kingdom.
United Kingdom, not
United
England?
Kingdom, Britain, yes,
Britain.
all Britain. So you
Which are
can
the-
imagine that
Which are
people
the
are.
which are the safe countries? Would you say?
Argentina.
I don't know because it's very surprising, right? You don't expect it from England. You can expect it from Ireland that is bashing Israel. You can expect from
I
Spain.
expect it from England. They're going after their own people. That there are such problems now in England that if anybody, any civilian says something negative about a Muslim or an Arab, they'll get arrested.
Right. There's no First Amendment in England. No freedom of.
So, I mean, if their own civilians aren't safe, obviously IDF won't be safe.
Esther, you're right. You're right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Now,
it's just a more raid gang against white.
Right, right.
No,
you know,
you're right.
we have we're sitting here. We're in New York. We're in Nassau County. We're not in the 5 boroughs, but we have a problem called Zoran Mandami. I'm sure you heard of it, right? So
He's not our mayor, but it affects us somehow, trickle down.
are you involved with anything? I mean, the Department of Justice here has launched an investigation over the.
He threatened he will arrest Prime Minister Netanyahu when he comes.
Yeah, well, he knows he's not going to.
That's what he thought. That's what
he already admitted that. Right.
Doesn't have the authority.
No.
You know what we did? We asked the DOJ to open investigation against Mamdani because he stepped his authority. He can threaten a leader of a democratic state. Any leader of a democratic state is immune, and by him violating the leader's right is actually violating the law.
So are they doing it?
Well,
And let's see what the DOJ says.
DOJ is investigating, but what kind of, if it violates the law, what is the next sequential step beyond that? Besides nothing.
It's up to the results of the investigation, but it right after we filed this submission, Mamdani came and did this serious speech to the camera saying he understands he doesn't have
to do anything. Right.
To do that. And he asked the Trump administration to take actions.
Mm-hmm. Well,
what the Trump administration is doing is actually bashing the International Criminal Court. Secretary of State Marco Rubio came and said that he's going to sanction even more the International Criminal Court judges and prosecutors because they are acting against an ally of the United States and against United States interests.
So do you think about, or do you anticipate being able to initiate any kind of concrete legal steps against Mandami? Because the fact of the matter is, the people here, where there were 3 million Jews living in New York State, 2 to 3 million Jews, people feel uncomfortable.
Well, he's inciting a lot of anti-Semitism and attacks, and there are daily attacks because what he's been doing. He has been giving everybody the power and telling them, yeah, you know what, go to the streets, just do what you want to do.
Yeah, he said when Netanyahu is here, he can't arrest him, but he's encouraging his followers to protest outside of wherever BB happens to be on any given day.
Yeah. Listen, I believe that in the end he will make a mistake. In the end, he will cross the line. And when he does, action against him. Mm-hmm. So far, when he's just encouraging people to go and do it, just talks about it, he's protected by freedom of speech.
Really? If there's an incitement, I'm not sure about that. If you're inciting, what is the law?
I don't know.
Is there a law for incitement?
It's incitement to terrorism, maybe incitement to take a violent act. So for instance, if somebody hears Mamdani and said, "Okay, now I'm going to kill a Jew," just
Right.
in
But they
theory.
do that.
So yes,
Doesn't
so
say-
this is incitement.
He doesn't say kill a Jew. He
It has
says
to
throw it in the street.
create, it has to create an imminent
Mhm.
danger to the life of the person he incites.
So, are you in communication with the Department of Justice here, or in New York, or on any level? Is there any kind of forward movement to do anything concrete that you could talk about? No.
Not in New York, not against Mamdani, but our cases that we file in the United States are usually for aiding and abetting terrorism. And as I said, we are planning now a legal action against the New York Times,
Okay.
obviously be in New York.
Okay.
And this is for the way the New York Times reports the news in the past 3 years in favor of Hamas, to the extent that it is really providing services to the designated terror organization, which is a violation of the Anti-Terrorism Act.
So,
So-
that's a criminal act. You
Yes.
say?
Yes, because the Anti-Terrorism Act has two components, a civil one and a criminal one. And the criminal one prohibits anyone in the United States to provide any sort of services to a designated terror organization. So our goal is to take this report, submit it to the DOJ, and ask them to open a criminal investigation against Times.
Is the New York Times taking it seriously? Have they?
Well, it's not just the New York
I
Times. though.
haven't
It's
done
the
this, yeah. They
Washington-
haven't responded because we
And
didn't.
what
file.
about the Washington
Post?
Post? I would say
Yeah.
it's the exact thing.
Yes, there are too many of them.
I mean, President Trump always refers to the New York Times as a failing New York Times, but
Yeah.
the Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos.
So I think
He's not
there will
exactly-
be I think they will be lenient to take this report and to investigate.
I mean, I know you're watching the news in America, but this what happened today in Michigan. This guy El Sayed, he's supposed to win. The poll said he's going to win by 15 points.
and he won by 1, and he practically squeaked it out.
In barely,
Oh,
That 1%, I'm not sure is all honesty.
he won by 1%.
Right.
1.5 million people voted,
Yeah.
and he won by 15,000 votes.
wow.
So that was pretty close. Unfortunately, the third-party candidate that
Who took the points away.
4% of the
Stevens.
vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was another candidate, McMorrow, who took 4% of the vote.
McMorrow took it away from Stephen.
Yeah, I think mostly. Yeah,
I would say so.
She could have.
Right.
It out.
She would have, right.
Okay. If that question.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
So how do you deal with the law in Judea and Samaria? Do the courts recognize those areas as subject to Israeli law?
I guess you mean like if there is something going on in Judea and Samaria, how residents of Judea and Samaria getting treated according to law.
Right.
So all that rules Judea and Samaria in civil cases is the Israeli law. Simply like that. If there is a road accident, or there is negligent, or if you want to bring a civil action, you go by the Israeli law. The criminal law is the military law that is governed since the beginning of when Israel took over these territories. And so if you commit a crime, you will be judged according to the criminal law through the military prosecution. This is for the Arabs. The Arab residents of Judea and Samaria. But if you're Israeli, you would be according to the Israeli law.
Okay.
Well, you going to answer?
I was questioning about the case of the Druze children that were bombed
Oh, by who?
Yes.
when they were playing.
Imagine Shams. In
So
Imagine
Yeah,
Shams.
that was Lebanon. That was by Hezbollah.
Hezbollah did it.
Yes, that was done by Hezbollah.
So,
And we filed a lawsuit against Hezbollah.
Oh, you did?
yeah,
Yes, on
so-
behalf of the Druze children.
Right.
And, it's not so easy for them because the Majlis Shams try to be objective, try to stay out of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and out of the Palestinian Israeli-Lebanese conflict. But they understand that they are not immune, and Hezbollah unfortunately killed intentionally these children that were playing soccer on the that
Right.
morning,
12
and
kids.
therefore they were willing to join the case and to fight Hezbollah for the first.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now you have now in Iran. Are you pursuing any cases? Multiple cases,
Yeah.
I imagine, against Iran.
Indeed, and we're winning. We're winning and collecting judgments. We just won a victory in a case against a building called 65th Avenue. It's in New York,
Right.
and it's owned by the Iranian government.
It's worth hundreds of millions, aren't they? Isn't it?
Yes. The building was sold after a long litigation. Again, Iran sent lawyers, fought the case. They lost, and the proceeds for $318 million went to the hands of the terrorists.
So it was the judgment was paid out from the
The judgment paid out.
lawsuit?
Yes.
I mean,
We sold the building. The building was sold, and now the money is going to.
Oh, wow.
how much was the building sold for, if you don't mind me asking?
I can,
She's not telling you.
I was-
We could just go Google.
I can tell you that it's halfly owned by the Iranian regime, so you can do the calculation.
Right.
Is the building empty? Do they have tenants?
They had tenants.
What is
They
it?
had
What kind of landlord? What kind of landlord is Iran? To have a landlord in the city, I can't imagine the.
And one that didn't care so much about the tenants.
Living in government was one thing. What happens when you have no hot water? Who do you complain to? The IRGC?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness! So it's fascinating how you're able to tie this all together in such a disparate and complicated, difficult legal world. Anyway,
Nitsana, how did you get into this? We never discussed that.
It was the beginning of the second Intifada, the year of 2000. The blood was fell on the streets and people were getting killed on a daily basis. And we just finished law school and we said, no more. We said, we all have been here in the first Intifada. We know what it's gonna be in the second Intifada. We, this time, are going to fight back.
Mhm.
And started filing lawsuits against terror organizations and their financial patrons. And within 2 years, we started winning in court. So we
Wow.
were coached by a secret unit in the Mossad called Harpoon. Then their goal was also to track terror financing, and they agreed to collaborate with us and give us information. And we took the fight against terror financing to the next level, and this is what we're doing since then.
Wow.
as an organization, for example, like Hamas, are they so organized and corporately put together that you could actually file a lawsuit against them?
They are not incorporated, no.
Oh, are they? What are they? Is Hezbollah, is Hezbollah incorporated? I mean, the Palestinian Authority
You know,
must.
the Islamic Jihad orphans, Bala. But it's a question because how do you serve them? I mean, where are they? You need to
Exactly.
the laws,
Exactly.
where their address is not the yellow pages. What do you do? I think we convinced the court to consider them to be a partnership. And as a partnership, every part of the partnership can receive the case. So
with the
this
Palestinian authorities, you're saying, or with Iran?
it's again not incorporated organization, but for the Palestinians, we send them in the Mukata in Ramallah in their headquarters. So there is no question about that they receive us.
Listen, they receive money, so there's a way of getting the money out of them.
Of course, absolutely.
So, you have to follow
the money.
Follow the money trail.
And that's where it hurts. That's where the bottom line. That's what Trump feels. Just to the money.
That's what hurts them the most. You could send an F-35 against them.
They don't care.
Or you could empty out their bank accounts.
Then they care.
One is the other. Are you having any luck with the Houthis in Yemen? Are they suitable?
Listen, I'm laughing, but thank God we don't have victims from the
Houthis.
Yeah, so they
I'm not asking that to be funny. I'm asking that because you've taken something that is terror, which is wild and uncivilized, and you've managed to package it in such a way that it could be addressed in a civilized manner in the proper civilized judicial forums.
Right.
And that's something people need to know about. Number one, if they have a complaint, and I know from reading about you that it's not just a matter of Hamas or the Palestinian Authority. I mean, you have the boats that they use. You have the arms that they buy. If they buy shoulder-held what they call
missiles,
rocket things. Some are sold to them, right?
Launchers.
Some are sold to them to use it criminally.
100%.
You go after the company that produced it.
I always say that money is the oxygen for terrorism. And if you stop the flow of the money, you can stop the flow of the terrorism. Their organization is like other corporation or company or any individual. They need money to live. They need money to operate. They need money to function. If you block this money, they will be terrorism. And this is our goal, to bankrupt terrorism one lawsuit at a time.
Okay, so just to clarify, we mentioned it before, but just one more thing, then we'll let you go. The pay to slay policy, that regardless of the Taylor Force Act here in the United States, the Palestinian Authority continues to pay. I read this week, I think they paid $60 billion in the last year to families
of terrorists that committed terrorism act.
If they murdered or injured Jews, they're eligible for these payments. What is the status of that?
Right. And this paid for slave policy is the one that buried them with a judgment. The jury understood that if, as the Palestinian Authority claimed, they were rogue employees that they did the attack, how come you keep paying their salary until today and you pay them money when they sit in the Israeli jail?
Right.
That means that they are not rogue employees, and this is why you are responsible for their acts. And knowing that, the Palestinian Authority now trying to get away with the papers. They start making excuses. They, first of all, cancel the prisoner's law that obligates them to pay money to terrorists, but also say we are not paying compensation to the terrorists based on their acts or crimes or sentences as they did before. We're going to give them welfare compensations, something to live on before they go into poverty, and so on and so on. Showing you that it does bring...
They're using it as a charitable act. They're being... They're not paying that, but they're giving them money.
We just changed
right, exactly. They understand that this policy will bring more judgment against them, more lawsuits against them. But we're dealing with this issue in the Israeli court, proving that nothing changed, that the Palestinian Authority, if it will be left with the last dollar, it will be given to the prisoners and the terrorists in Israel.
Amazing. Okay, I learned a lot today. I got to tell you, I got a whole education. I've been thinking about this since we were supposed to do this last week, and thank you for clarifying a lot of what you do and how you do it. And you should continue to have success And hopefully,
Thank you very
protect the
much.
people of Israel.
Well, continue having success, but it would be even better if you had no cases.
True.
Unfortunately,
One day we close the office and go and retire in
that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Nitsana Darshan-Leitner of the Israel Law Center.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again, and all the best. Be well.
Take care.
Today's Between the Lines is brought to you by our friends and relatives at the Bethel Creamery.
Okay, so if you're visiting the Catskills this summer, check out the cafe and farm stand at Bethel Creamery in White Lake. Everything is made from scratch using Bethel Creamery products. For the first time this summer, they have Bethel Creamery ice cream. Hours are Sunday through Thursday, 11-5, and Friday
11 to
till 3.
5?
11 to 5.
11 to 5?
Yes, and Friday till 3. Now, I could only speak for myself.
Right.
I tried their ice cream, and
Yes.
normally I'm a yogurt person, but after eating their full fat, delicious, natural Chalav Yisrael ice cream, I wouldn't eat anything else. Because if you're going for something, go for it big, and it's worth it. Worth every single spoonful.
Okay, that's the Bethel Creamery on Happy Avenue in somewhere between Bethel and White Lake, New York. Is that what it says, White Lake?
Yes, and also, by the way, there is milking tours
Okay.
and barn tours on Sunday.
Okay, great.
And they're still selling chicken, which is Pella,
On the other side of the road.
on the other side of the road.
I'm looking forward to it.